Warning, this video contains team selection and captain choices which some viewers may find offensive.
Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV. Before looking to Game Week 32, let's see how the team performed in Game Week 31. For this video, the less said about Game Week 31 the better, in what was simply a catastrophic game week for the side. At least for the outfield players, who returned a mere 27 points between them. Disaster. It was simply one of those weeks where almost everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and many of the decisions I made ended up having an adverse effect on my score. Selling Watkins and benching Stuart Dallas were choices that did seem logical at the time, as they faced Liverpool and Man City respectively, but those choices alone cost me a huge amount of points. A real tough one to take, especially with lots of players getting Dallas automatically off their bench last week. I also opted for Jota over Jesse Lingard in Game Week 31, and that too was a significant swing in points, and frustratingly, although I talked about taking a hit for Lingard last week, ultimately I opted against it. Last week also felt like a good game week to go with a differential captain, and with the popular options of Kane and Fernandes both blanking, clearly that choice did have merit. However, I opted to captain Jamie Vardy last week, and paying double the price for him over the in-form Iheanacho is looking like a really poor decision, and one that is very hard to justify at this point. Both Iheanacho and Lingard were very popular options for those that wildcarded last week, so having them both deliver big scores once again was very damaging to the game week. At the end of play on Sunday with a score of 27 points, it was looking like a season-ending game week, and with me all but ready to give up on the season, fortunately there was one saving grace on Monday night, with a very unlikely clean sheet and penalty save from the legend Sam Johnston in goal. Opting to play him over Martinez last week was my only good decision, and he salvaged what was looking like an utterly disastrous weekend. It was still a poor game week overall, only managing 42 points, but Johnston's 15 certainly softened the red arrow, keeping me just inside the top 300k. With just 7 game weeks to go now, the hopes of a respectable ranking this season appear to be slipping away. But with a double game week on the horizon now, and with my free hit chip still intact for Game Week 33, hopefully the next 2 game weeks can be a bit more fruitful, and although it's looking very unlikely, I'll still aim to finish inside the top 100k before the season ends. So let's move on to Game Week 32 now, and look at some potential transfer plans as well as my potential team lineup. Also, if you enjoy the content here at FPL TV, then be sure to leave a like and most importantly get subscribed. You can also hit the notification bell so you always know when a new video goes live. This week it feels like a very easy transfer, with the form of Jesse Lingard simply too hard to ignore at this point. Transferring in Lingard now does feel very underwhelming, because I'm surely amongst the last of the active FPL players to bring him in. Therefore, any further points from him won't do much for me in terms of ranking. In short, it feels more like a transfer of consolidation rather than an attacking move for my team. But with him delivering literally week after week, and with a nice fixture against Newcastle coming up next, it just seems foolish to go without him any longer. It's likely Ilkay Gundogan that'll make way, with important games in the Champions League and FA Cup for Man City before facing Villa. Therefore his starting place is still an uncertainty whilst they remain in other competitions. So with that move lined up, let's see how the side now looks for Game Week 32. Overall, I'm pretty content with the side heading into Game Week 32, with Son and Kane already in the squad in preparation for their double game week this week. Alongside the 2 double game week players, there's plenty of decent fixtures elsewhere amongst my 11 as well, with Bruno at home to Burnley, Lingard and Soufal facing Newcastle, Rudiger at home to Brighton and Jota facing Leeds, so hopefully some decent points on offer there. I've also got Vardy at home to West Brom this game week, and amongst my ranking, Vardy is one of my biggest differentials. So if I am to climb the rankings, I'm really going to need a performance from him, and if he's outshone by Iheanacho again, that'll really be a disaster. The game week as usual does come with some benching headaches though, and with Leeds facing Liverpool this week, the plan was to always bench Stuart Dallas for this one, but after his monster 17-pointer away to Man City last time out, the prospect of benching him again is certainly a concern. I expect both teams to score and can see this one being an exciting matchup, just like it was when they played out a 4-3 in the season opener. If Leeds are to concede, then benching Dallas does feel the logical move, but because he's playing in midfield, he does have a much bigger ceiling than Ruben Diaz does. It's a 50-50 I'm still weighing up, but in fairness, there's no guarantees that Ruben Diaz even plays for City away to Villa anyway, and Dallas would therefore come in automatically. A perfect first sub at the very least. For the captaincy this week, the obvious contenders are the two double game week players in Son and Kane, with Kane in particular looking the outstanding option. Simply down to his incredible consistency though, and with 3 double-figure hauls back-to-back for Jesse Lingard, I think he has to be in consideration as well, even despite the single game week. For now, the captaincy sits with Kane, with neither of his opponents, Everton or Southampton, looking at their best recently. He's in excellent form, chasing the golden boot, and has 2 fixtures under his belt this week, so looks to be the straightforward choice. The only reason I'd consider going against Kane this week would simply be to chase the pack, because a large percentage of the game will also captain Kane this week. For this reason, although very risky, it does present an opportunity to go differential and try to jump up the rankings, and therefore Son and Lingard are my 2 favourite alternatives. So that's all my thoughts for my side heading into Game Week 32. And as always, if you want to see the final team lineup, captaincy and transfers, you can do so over on the FPL TV Twitter page shortly before the Game Week deadline. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and most importantly get subscribed. You can also hit the notification bell so you always know when a new video goes live. Good luck to you all for Game Week 32, FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all next week.